Hello and welcome to Nick's Allotment Diary. It's a frosty but bright day on the plot today. The soil's all frozen over, so I won't be doing any digging today. And if you look over here, the garlic is frozen, but garlic's fine in the frost, as are the leeks. They're fine, they don't mind frosty weather. The broad beans have wilted over a bit, but they should be fine. They usually survive through the winter. Moving over to the broccoli. Again, these are frost hardy. They should recover. We've only had a relatively light frost. It only went down to about -1, -2 last night, which I know to you Canadian and American viewers is nothing of a temperature. We very rarely get frost, but it is good to get some frost occasionally because it kills off some of the pests over the winter, which gives us a head start in the spring. I'll just show you the fruit cage. Now everything's dormant. Here is the blueberry. I don't know whether you can see this, but the branches of the blueberry has got plenty of buds on, so hopefully we should be in for a good crop next year. Blackcurrants, these are one of the blackcurrant bushes. They need to be thinned out. I'm going to remove, I think, at least one or maybe two of the blackcurrant bushes that I had last year to make room for some of the other fruit. These bushes are quite old. They were on the allotment before I had them. Some of the wood is quite thick, and what I need to do is take out some of the old wood and leave some of the branches so that we get some fruit next year. Moving over to this part of the fruit cage, I've got a Blackberry Cane, and that needs to come out. It's going to be miles too vigorous. It's producing, have a look here, there's a branch going this way, branch going that way, branch going over there, branch going this direction. I'm going to take it out of the fruit cage and see if I can train it, maybe across one of the fences in the plot. I put it in here, but realised this year that it's going to be no good to keep in the fruit cage. This bush here is the pink berry, a blueberry that's pink. It's a variety called Pink Lemonade. It didn't produce much last year, so I'm hoping this year it'll produce more fruit for me. There's a red currant here. There's one there and one there. And just below me here is a gooseberry and another gooseberry in the far corner over there. So there should be plenty of fruit. I just need to now get on and do a little bit of pruning, take out some of the old growth, so I should get some decent fruit this year. This is the Perpetual Strawberries. They did really well last year. I got strawberries right the way through till about, well, November, December time. They have pink flowers rather than the normal white strawberry flowers, and they carry on producing for a long period of time. So hopefully they should do well again for me this year. On the floor of the fruit cage are various other strawberry plants, which I thinned out last year, and some in this pot here. With a bit of luck and some decent weather and not too many slugs, I should end up with some decent fruit. Now in the greenhouse. These are the spare garlic plants that I put in end of November. They're looking pretty decent, so could go out if I get any spare spots where the garlic hasn't actually come up. Broad beans. These are starting to emerge now. You can see a few shoots there. These are to replace the ones that the mice took out of the main bed outside. So once they've properly emerged and the ground has thawed out a bit, I can fill in the spaces. Just in the propagator, these are the winter density lettuces that I planted end of October. They're growing slowly. They're about a size now where I could probably prick them out into the border in the greenhouse. And there are the onion seeds that I planted last week. They're not showing yet, and I'm not expecting them to show for a little while longer. Here's the flower bed with the roses. They need pruning over the winter, but I won't do it now because it's a little bit too frosty. I don't want to cause damage to the plants. In the rest of the bed there's not much happening. The calendula have all died back now, although there are still parts of the plant that are green. Whether they'll survive the winter I don't know. But I'm not too worried because they self-seed so readily that this bed will have plenty of calendula in the spring. The kale, looking very frosty, but that can stand the frost, no problem. Plenty of nice kale leaves. And at the back of this bed are the kalettes. On the end of this bed I've got a plum tree and also a blackberry, a thornless blackberry, which I planted here. Now that needs supporting, so what I'm planning to do with that is to make a frame with a couple of posts, one post either end of the bed, and then some wires strained between the two posts, and then I can train the blackberries along the wire. Just been digging through the compost in the compost bin to try and remove the roots of all this grass that's growing in it. And here you can see the robin, very tame robin, who's keen to have a look where I've been digging to see if he can get some worms or grubs out of the soil. Do tend to find that whenever you're digging on this allotment, a robin turns up. Picking at the worms where I've turned over the soil and done a bit of tidying up. Oh, here comes another one. They're territorial robins, so if one comes into the territory of the other, there'll be trouble. Thanks very much for joining me at Nick's Allotment. I'll see you again next time.